Some moments in history are like these massive hinges on a door. They swing open, and suddenly a completely new future is possible. The Pakistan Resolution of 1940, well, that was one of those moments. It was a declaration that didn't just point to a new path, it started paving it. So picture this. It's March 23rd, 1940, in Lahore. There's this huge crowd, and you can just feel the energy in the air. This isn't just any old political rally. No, this is a genuine turning point. An idea that had been talked about, debated, and dreamed of for decades is about to be brought front and center, right here in front of thousands of people. And the event that would literally change the map of South Asia forever was called the Lahore Resolution. So simple, so direct, but unbelievably powerful. It put something on the table that, for many, was completely unthinkable until that moment. So, what did it actually say? See, this was so much more than just a political statement. It was the moment a shared, but often kind of quiet dream was finally given a loud, clear voice and a real plan. For millions of people, this signified a massive shift in what they believed was even politically possible. Okay, so what was it really? At its heart, the Pakistan Resolution was an official statement from the All India Muslim League, and its main demand was for the creation of independent states for Muslims in British India. This was the moment the call for a separate homeland went from being just an idea to the official declared goal of the League. A huge deal. But here's the thing, an idea this big doesn't just pop up out of nowhere, right? The Lahore Resolution was really the final step in a long, long journey. It was the result of decades of political and philosophical thinking that had been slowly building towards this exact moment. If you trace it back, the journey kind of starts in the late 19th century. That's when Sir Syed Ahmad Khan first planted the seeds, arguing that Muslims had their own unique political identity. Then you fast forward to 1930. The incredible poet and philosopher Allama Iqbal gives this idea a much clearer shape in his famous Allahabad address, where he lays out a vision for a self-governing Muslim state. And all of that leads right here to 1940, where that vision finally becomes a formal political objective. Now, of course, an idea needs champions to make it real, and in this story, you've got two monumental figures. On one side, you have Allama Iqbal, the visionary poet who really inspired the dream. And on the other, you have Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the brilliant political strategist who became the architect, the one who turned that dream into a concrete plan for a nation. All right, so with the vision and the leadership all lined up, let's get into the document itself. What did the resolution actually demand, and why did it have such a massive impact? Let's break down the basics here. It was adopted by the All India Muslim League in Lahore. A.K. Fazlul Huq was the one who presented it. Now, the key demand for autonomous regions called independent states. That phrasing was chosen very carefully, and its political impact was instant. This was the first time that a demand for what would become Pakistan was formally and publicly declared as a unified goal. And they were talking about real places on a map. The resolution specifically targeted the areas with Muslim majorities in the northwestern and eastern parts of India. The idea was to group these connected areas together to form these independent states. This quote from Muhammad Ali Jinnah, wow, it just perfectly captures the huge shift in thinking. By calling the problem international instead of intercommunal, he was basically saying, hey, we're not just a minority community here. We are a distinct nation, and we deserve our own state. That completely reframed the entire political debate. Honestly, the way the resolution was worded was a masterclass in political strategy. It was just vague enough to bring together all these different provincial leaders who had their own local demands, but it was also bold enough to create one clear, powerful nationwide goal. It managed to take all these different threads and weave them into a single flag for everyone to rally behind. But obviously, the story doesn't end in 1940. The impact of this resolution sent out ripples that we can still feel today. So what is its lasting legacy? Well, its legacy is just immense. It's a symbol of unity and the dream of a sovereign state. It was the direct political launchpad for the creation of Pakistan just 7 years later. And even today, it's a cornerstone of the national identity, a constant reminder of the leadership and sacrifices that completely redrew the map of South Asia. Which brings us to this number, 23. The resolution was passed on March 23rd, and believe me, that date is now locked into the national calendar. Every single year on March 23rd, Pakistan Resolution Day is celebrated as a national holiday. We're talking parades, big ceremonies, a day of reflection. It's all about celebrating that foundational moment and connecting the present generation back to its historical roots. One of the sources we looked at puts it so well. It calls the resolution a living touchstone, guiding national aspirations. I love that. It's not some dusty old document in a museum, it's something that's still felt, still referenced, and still very much alive today. And that really leaves us with a final thing to think about. How does a single political declaration, written over 80 years ago, still have the power to shape and guide the identity and the future dreams of a nation of over 200 million people today? It's pretty amazing when you think about it.